she's saying I'm talking behind her back and, you know, creating conflict and stuff like that just because, you know, she's jealous of how we get along. You know, I feel like that's the stupidest thing. Like, why can't we all three be
get along,
close and whatever? Right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I do actually want to know an answer from Tawanda.
This is Tawanda. And this,
go ahead.
I wanted to comment on that, and it's so ironic because I can see, like, in something we were saying that Bianca was talking about, I think last week, and she said, I don't want to tell my age, but she kind of went way back on something. This kind of reminds me of that because, like, when you talk about, like, women, friendships, and jealousy, I'm like, oh, I don't have those problems. I remember, like back in the day in, like, high school, we had, like, situations like that, but, like, over the last, like, 10 years, I've grown so much through stuff like that. Like, now, there's some people that have, like, a jealous spirit or a jealous heart. Like, they don't want anyone to have anything or to have success or to be happy, especially if they're not happy. And people like that, I'm not really around for long periods of time because I'm about positivity and about good vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what I focus so much on now is keeping my circle of support positive, you know, amazing, people who truly care about me and want me to win, and I want them to win. Like, negativity and jealousy is a bad spirit. You know what I'm saying? Jealousy is negativity, and I stay as far away from that as possible, and I've had to grow through that, you know, from high school to now.
No, and you know what I realized too? Like, as you get older, you also realize that you don't need a million girlfriends, nor do you need, like, a million friends in general, because when you get older, you just need really, like, you just need the right friends, and on top of that, you really just, you don't want to also be telling, like, 10 friends your business and all that, and so, like, for me, I want quality over quantity. And one funny thing is, like, we do have, like, one of my close girlfriends, like, on the line. Her name is Chastity, and I've been actually friends with her for a long time, and we don't even see each other as often. And so I do want to ask you this question, Chastity. What type of jealousy have you experienced with other females, and how did you overcome with it? Because I know you've gone through a lot, too.
Yeah. I think it's at least, you know, as of lately, or how I've been, you know, trying to live my life for the past few years and months. You know, like Tawanda said, it's just like those, you know, jealous friendships, or, you know, those negative friendships that I do have, they're very short-lived because, you know, once I do sense it, or, you know, it does cause some sort of, you know, distraction in my life and stuff like that, you got to cut it off. Like, I cut it off right away. But, you know, something of what the first person had mentioned, I feel like that's kind of pretty common. You know, people just, you know, friends being jealous of other friendships and stuff like that, because I remember it so clearly. It's like, you know, I had this one friend, I was like, I love her, but I love everybody the same, you know. But, you know, I was introduced to someone new, and she was like, oh, you know, I want what you guys have. You know, your friendship is like, you know, you guys love each other so much and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, of course, we brought her into our friendship, and we treated everybody the same. But it's just, you know, as if we were to hang out, you know, without her, or do something, you know, without her and things like that, like, she would feel, like, so offended and things like that. And I think, you know, it's really just, like, something deeper for them, you know, just, you know, feeling like that love is not, you know, for them, or there's not enough love to go around and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, I really feel bad in those situations, but at the same time, you know, you can't have, you know, a toxic friendship and stuff like that. So it's just something that they have to, like, really just work on, and you have to stay focused, and you can't let, you know, other people, you know, become a distraction and really deter you from your goals and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, we all have shit to go through. So, you know, just some more than others, I guess, in different ways.
Exactly. Well, thanks for sharing that. And how about you, Corinne? What type of jealousy have you experienced with other females? How did you overcome it?
I usually just ignore it, because I don't really like deal with like catty girl stuff. So like I basically, if I feel like someone's doing something because they're jealous, I either avoid that person, avoid the situation, or just ignore it if they just have like a negative comment to say.
No, and that is a mature way of handling it too. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
And does anyone else? And does anyone want to share? One person who wants to volunteer and share before I move on to the third one. What type of jealousy have you experienced with other female, and how did you overcome it? I want one more person to share.
So this is Destiny from Denver, and I don't know. I definitely feel like I used to like, and this is probably just me, but I used to be like super jealous of, people who could see, because I'm like, I want to see, I want to walk, I want to do all this stuff, but actually talking to you guys the past couple weeks have taught me that, people are going to like you for you. They're not going to like you because you can see, because you can walk, and you and Amanda have definitely, you guys have friended me on Facebook and really taught me that you don't need all that stuff.
Wow.
Oh, I'm glad. Well, I'm happy. Well, we're happy that you're here and you're sharing your experiences. And whoever joins us, on this platform, I love hearing everyone's story because we're not all the same. We all go through everyday one thing is we do go through similar problems, but we all still have, different areas of issues that we're dealing with. And so this is where we can join together and be women and support each other. Okay, so and thank you for sharing, Destiny. I appreciate it. And so for number 3, I'm going to, since I do have a lot of questions, I just want people to answer it randomly. I would love 3 people to give me a response for this one. Why do you think other women speak poorly of other women? Anyone want to share?
I'll share. This is Amanda. Sorry I'm late.
No worries. Hi, Amanda.
Hey. I think sometimes, the reason that women think poorly or, people in general is when you see something that, a lot of people, when they see something that they don't have, it, for some reason, magnifies the flaws that they see in themselves instead of being
exactly.
Oh, if I do this, I can get it. But they're like, I'm a failure because I'm not rich or I don't have whatever X.
No, I know. That's sad. I know people will reflect it on others of, how they feel about themselves, definitely. And anyone else want to share before we move on?
This is Tawanda, and I just really want to ditto what Amanda just said. A lot of times when someone says something negative, I know people call it, she's hating, but I think it's just really something they may really see, she makes me sick. And just really something real funny. One of my old pastors, when I used to live in Charlotte, he really was just incredible and amazing, and he actually passed away a couple of years ago, but he really awesome, great teacher, great leader. But we had a revival one time, and he was talking about, he said, let me tell you who makes me sick. Those pastors that they can sing, they can dance, and they can preach. I just can preach. So it was so funny because he was acting like he had a problem with them, but, of course he was really embracing it. But that's the thing. Some people, he says, hey, the pastors that can preach, that can sing, and that can dance, that they make him sick. That's how some people are. They want to do those things, so since they can't, they really are jealous. So that's what it is. It's something you really want.
Definitely, I agree. Thanks for sharing, Tawanda. And so sometimes we women tend to forget how amazing we are. We are gorgeous humans who have several things men don't always have. We have an amazing body parts, capability to love and nurture differently. I'll tell you this, one thing I know, I'm attractive and I have a lot to offer. which absolutely sometimes being attractive can have its positive and negativity. It's also important for us to acknowledge our own beauty as well as other women's beauty. Self-esteem has to do a lot with this as well as self-love. So this is a volunteer question because I know like this may not apply for every woman, but my question is, have you ever had a friend who had low self-esteem and you felt like she was reflecting it on you? So anyone can voluntarily answer this question.
I want to answer. This is Chastity.
Hi.
So
Go ahead.
I did have a friend. You know, every time we went out and stuff like that, you know, she would always like be like a little just like slightly agitated and stuff like that, or like moody or whatever. And then, you know, after a few times, like I noticed it, and I was just like, hey, what's wrong, and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it took her a while to say it, but then she was just like, you know you guys are hella cute or whatever, and you guys take all these pictures and stuff like that. So basically she thought, like, you know, she wasn't cute. But we were just like, we were all just shocked because, you know, we didn't realize, you know, she felt like that about herself and stuff like that. So when we're all taking selfies and stuff, instead of, you know, joining in and stuff, it really was just, you know, it was like a buzzkill for her. She didn't want to take pictures and stuff like that. But, you know, like, we just, like, reassured her, you know, like, she's beautiful, and it's, you know, something that she needed to be reminded and stuff like that. So, you know, at first it was just like, you know, you might overlook something, you know, as small as that, where it's just like, oh, she's like, she just has attitude, or she's just being a bitch or whatever like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, I love her so much. I was just like, why do you have like this sad face when like you're drinking shots? Like, you should be happy right now. So yeah, I think that's one occasion that, you know, ended up to be like more of a positive experience rather than just drop her as a friend kind of thing.
No, definitely. And that's totally normal because like what Tawanda was saying earlier is like some people, I don't want to say like when it comes to like beauty and all that stuff, like it's not that they're lazy, but sometimes people just don't want to work on themselves, and in a way when they don't work on themselves they don't feel as pretty, as gorgeous. And so that's why like I always encourage to all my friends like different shapes and sizes or anything, like you can become who you want if you just work on it, just like what Tawanda said. And how about you, Tawanda? I want to ask you this question. Have you ever had a friend who had low self-esteem and you felt like she was reflecting it on you?
Yes, absolutely, yes. And I just want to ditto the young lady that just spoke. Like, the last 2 or 3 things you said has really been amazing, and I totally agree. And I like how you handled that. And that's what it's about. It's about being a real woman. So, yeah, I've had that happen, and I handle it by giving someone something positive because I can understand low self-esteem for certain types of reasons. However, real friends push the other friend up. So I'm going to embrace the person and let them know, hey, regardless of what you're going through, we all go through something. You know, we got to focus on the how we can become better, become our greatest self, or do something about it. So absolutely, I've experienced that, and how I handle it is pushing and helping to grow through to feel better and to hopefully eliminate that low self-esteem.
Definitely, no. I like how you both of you ladies can agree with the same wavelength. That's awesome. Anyone else want to share before I move on to the next one? Because I have like 6 questions.
I can tell on myself.
Of course,
it's Amanda from Colorado. I've always had problems with I've always had problems with self-esteem and self-confidence. So, like, in general, I'm an extrovert, but when I get in a crowd of people, like, I get really quiet because I'm afraid that, like, everybody else is so awesome and that I don't, like, belong at the table with them. And so, yeah.
Oh, well, sometimes you have to remember.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, and then there was a women's retreat that I was going to go on a couple of years ago, and I looked at all the women going, and I was I was overweight, and I saw that everybody was like, that said they were going was like pretty skinny, and I panicked and was like, oh great, I'm going to be the only fat person there, nobody's going to like me. And I like reached out to the organizer and was like, I don't know if I want to go, I might be too fat. And she's like, no, you're coming. And nobody was ever like, gosh, what